The following educational partners help support your Into the Outdoors television series.
Jacob, aren't you done with that homework yet?
Einstein's law of thermodynamics is driving me crazy.
Oh, you mean the part about how energy can neither be created nor destroyed? I think it's because it can only change form.
Huh? How do you know all this stuff?
It's simple. It affects everything in our lives. Forget those complicated formulas for now. Come on, you need to see how the science works in the real world with some savvy sustainability, because we're headed into the outdoors. Into the outdoors. Grab your gear and let's explore as we discover the wild outdoors. Science, discovery, it's what we do. Into the outdoors, now what you waiting for? Into the outdoors, it's fun when we explore. Science, discovery, it's way too cool. You can make our Earth a bright and better place by joining us in this wide open space. Into the outdoors.
All right, first, let's simplify Einstein's law of thermodynamics by thinking about it as it relates to the basic law of nature and physics. Einstein knew matter could be converted into energy and energy converted into matter. Just think about a closed ecosystem that's self-sustaining. You can't see things entering or leaving the ecosystem, but it keeps sustaining everything that lives there. Here we go.
Now this looks interesting. Einstein and I are going to keep track of all these conversions.
All right, you're here. Let's get to work.
Besides making award-winning artisan cheese, Cedar Grove has made its mark on sustainability with the living machine. Wash water from the cheese-making process goes into the machine. And to get that, we begin, well, washing.
He's going to turn the water on. You're going to spray in, so we wash all that curd and whey out of there. And then you're going to spray down the vat and all the equipment that's in it. And when they got all the curd out of it, and they had to come through with soap and water and wash it down, and then they come through with an acid sanitizer and sanitize the vat. The water just flows out the end and goes down the drain. So we'll get a little bit of the whey and tiny pieces of curd that'll also go down the drain. And so when you guys are out working in the living machine, these are the things that are going to end up in there that you're going to have to figure out how to deal with to help clean up before they get in the environment. So this is our living machine.
Wow, this is cool.
This is where we take all that water that we saw down in the factory and we clean it. It's in this tank now. What was in that water, you guys remember?
There's soap.
So why can't we just take this water and dump it outside?
Oh, sustainability. We
Yep.
put clean water in, so we want clean water out.
Exactly. So the first thing we do here is we add microbes and oxygen.
Microbes? I think there's a biochemical process. Jacob, write that down.
Okay.
The water's flowing in and more water comes and pushes it along. All these tanks are connected underground, so the water then flows down here. By the time we get to this first open tank, there's enough oxygen in the system that it doesn't smell anymore. Microbes are breaking down the large chemicals, the fats, the proteins, and things into smaller pieces.
So it's like chemical reaction, pretty much.
Right.
So check, and let's move on.
All right, so when nature cleans water, like in a marsh, it uses plants along with the microbes to help clean up the water. So in the next 4 tanks here, we have water plants. The roots go down into the water, the microbes work in their roots. The plants grow only on nutrients that they're taking up out of the water, and these plants will grow 6 inches a week in here.
I think we need some help sorting all this out at this point.
Yeah. Come in, Mission Control.
Oh, got you covered. Sustainability tracker's coming online now. Whoa, look at those conversions.
They show that your living machine handles about 7,000 gallons of wash water a day. The living organisms of the microbes in those plants are bioconverting the matter from the curds, whey, and soaps into different kinds of energy. But I'd say from the color of that water that we're still a long way off from it being sustainable as it relates to the water cycle.
What are those different plants anyway?
Is that papyrus?
Yeah, the papyrus is like a weed. It grows like crazy here. This is taro.
Whoa.
also known as elephant ears. These grow in Hawaii. In the next tank down here, we have plants that came from right across the street, so we don't have to use tropical plants to clean up the water here. The irises and lilies in this area will do the same thing.
You guys keep going while I plug more photosynthesis into the sustainability tracker. Oh yeah, the nutrients in the water are being converted using sunlight energy into making the plants grow while giving off oxygen. Hey, to discover more sustainable science secrets, just log on to intotheoutdoors.org.
Better keep that tracker online. This next part looks seriously biological.
Now that's biological.
Don't go away. There's more Into the Outdoors. And now back into the outdoors.
In case you weren't able to keep track, here's what the sustainability trackers come up with so far.
They call it the living machine because it uses the natural processes of living organisms to help convert and break down the nutrients from the cheese-making wash water. The microbes grow and multiply as they digest the nutrient content in the water. Plants also help by doing similar conversions using photosynthesis. Though you can't see what they're doing, you can begin to see the results in the next tank.
Well, what's different in here than in the other tanks?
There's no plants.
There's no plants, and what else?
There's no bubbles.
Yeah, there's no bubbles. We stopped moving the water. We stopped adding oxygen in here. And what that does, you can see the brown things are starting to sink to the bottom. The rest of the water is pretty clean at this point. The brown parts now are just the bodies of the microbes. So they've taken all the nutrients, broken them down, eaten them, become part of the microbes.
The solids settle to the bottom, and much of the solids are used to fertilize farm fields. They also reuse the microbes by putting them back into the first tank to restart the process.
In the meantime, the clean water is coming over this weir and flowing onto the next two tanks where it's going to be polished. And here we're just circulating it. We've got filters in the middle, and the water is being pumped to go through it. And these plastic containers have microbes on the surfaces of them, so they continue to do some cleaning and add more oxygen back into the system. We get down to our last tank here, and the water's almost ready to go.
After more filtering, it's run through a fish tank to be sure it's safe before returning the clean water into nearby Honey Creek.
That living machine really scored high in the sustainability tracker.
Not only that, it checked all three of the big R's of sustainability: reduce, reuse, and recycle.
Hang on, you guys. I've got another signal coming through on the sustainability tracker, and it's from, hey, it's from Josh.
Ooh, done with that load. We've got some serious R's going on here, and it all begins with these main ingredients.
Hey Josh, where are you, and what exactly is that stuff?
Oh, I'm here at Peterson Dairy Farm. It's in Appleton, Wisconsin. It's my first day on the job. And this is, shredded newspaper. Cool. And this is, what?
Looks like you've got a lot to learn about composting manure, Josh.
Well, my hands might get dirty, but I'm in good hands. This place won the Outstanding Dairy Farm Sustainability Award. So I'm gonna see what we can learn here. You keep that tracker running, Emma, while I dive into the science on this end.
Come on, young man. Are you ready to get to work? We got lots to do. Well, Josh, it all starts with right here. This is what we feed the cow. We call this a total mixed ration, and this machine mixes all the feed ingredients together. So that basically every mouthful of feed that cow takes is the same.
So what's in the feed?
Well, we got our homegrown forages in there, which would be our corn silage and our haylage and alfalfa hay, and then the soybean for protein source, and there's all kinds of vitamins and minerals and stuff like that to make the cow healthy and productive. What goes into that cow does affect what goes out of the backside too. So to be environmentally friendly, you pull back on phosphorus a little bit going into the cow so your manure doesn't become a pollutant that way as well.
My buddies here are helping me out with the first step in making compost. Man, that must taste good.
After these cows digest their feed, we'll have the first main ingredient to making compost, manure. That gets combined with a second ingredient that also involves recycling, paper.
Whew, there seems to be no end to this stuff. Where does it all come from?
Well, several churches and local schools collect it, and about every 2 weeks, a friend of the Petersons picks it up and brings it out here.
Oh, That's gotta be one of the R's. Okay, these cows need some soft bedding, and this thing isn't your typical paper shredder. Oh, that was so much fun grinding up all that stuff.
Well, if you think that was fun, the fun is just getting started. Now you got to grab an armful of that newspaper and get it under the cows.
What?
Yeah, and just take a big armful and just walk with it. And walk it right down to the cows. All of our paper is coming through paper drives, fundraising paper drives for nonprofit organizations.
So I just put it right in here?
Put it right in the stall there, absolutely, Josh. Just like this.
So, here's what's happened so far. The cows did their part, and the manure got mixed in with the shredded newspaper that was used as their bedding. Now, we put it in the wagon, and we're ready to fire this baby up. Woo!
What we're doing here now, Josh, is our daily load of manure. It's about 10,000 pounds a day that we produce here, and we have to spread it about 200 feet long, real thin like that. And the reason we do that is to get Mother Nature, get it to dry to the proper moisture so the compost bacteria can flourish in there and do a good job of breaking it down. We turn it 3 times a week with the compost turner, and then our temperatures get up to about 150 degrees. And then it takes about a year before it gets truly looking like topsoil and nice and black. And when you compost your manure, you reduce your volume by about 60%. So these piles are big, and then they reduce themselves down. And the most odor you would smell from the manure is right now, because as the bacteria start working, it eliminates most of the odors, and it gets heat, and it kills any weed seeds that would be in there, and it just turns into a very nice product for people's lawns and gardens.
To learn about some smart sustainability things you can do at home, hey, just log on to intotheoutdoors.org.
Coming up, the social slant on Josh's sustainability.
Don't go away. There's more Into the Outdoors.
And now back into the outdoors. Looks like poor Josh is really working hard at his new job making sustainable compost. Let's update the live feed and... Hey, what the heck?
Where'd Josh go? Have you girls seen Josh?
Well, let's give Josh a rest while we calibrate the sustainability tracker. The cows eat a feed mixture grown locally that was fertilized with their manure. Their manure is mixed with locally collected recycled paper that was used as cow bedding. Whoa, lots of dual purposing going on there. Natural microbes in the manure break it down into compost while generating heat that helps the process. Wow, it's all interconnected. I wonder if we left anything out.
Bring her on in! If you think about it, economic sustainability really affects other parts of the sustainability process. Consider this.
Sustainability is 3 basic things: the environmental benefits of what we're doing, and then we got to think of the community benefits, because we like to make yourself a good neighbor and create good relationships through what you're doing. And the other one is financial. All these other aspects, you can't afford to do them if it doesn't pencil out. So it has to be economically feasible and while satisfying the other 2 criteria as well.
Wow, who would have thought that I'd be turning cow manure and shredded paper into compost cash? Cha-ching!
Hey, look, adding all those new economic factors to the sustainability tracker really boosted your score. And it checked all 3 R's too. No wonder they got an award. Way to go, Josh.
Now it's your turn at home to consider ways to either creatively compost to grow things, or to create a project that also may be economically sustainable. That also helps the environment. See if your ideas match ours later in the show.
See you later, bye!
Take care.
Oh, hold on, Josh. I gotta go. New feed coming in on all channels. What the heck? Is that you, Jacob?
Oh yeah, I'm here with Caroline. We're really zeroing in on
Einstein's theory, because we got some serious thermodynamics going on at this place.
He's right. This place specializes in the conversion of waste into renewable energy. So keep your sustainability trackers calibrated. Wait till you see this next setup. Come on, cows, keep eating. You've got some serious converting to do.
You're the 2 science investigators I've been hearing about. Well, welcome. take a look around and see all these recyclers in here. We're going to show you how this works. Come on with me. All right, Jacob and Caroline, take a look at this. Each cow is going to eat 120 pounds of this today. And of that 120 pounds, up to 25% of it comes from recycled products. In other words, people take out of it what they want, and then we find a way to make it good and palatable for the cow. And the cow's going to take it, and she's going to give us 3 byproducts from it, okay? All right, we said that the cows give us 3 things, and one of the things they give us is baby calves.
They're so cute.
And another thing's going on in here. The floors are actually getting heated by a recycled product.
Recycled product? Heat? I hope Emma's keeping track of all this.
You guys like milk and dairy products, right?
Oh, I love yogurt.
All right, well, one of the things that these cows give us is a lot of milk. They give us 11 gallons of milk each day, every day.
Drink that all.
It's a lot of milk. One of the things the cows give us is manure, and I like to call it liquid gold. And what it's doing is all 3,500 cows, the manure is going into one central point. Then it comes in here, and we use waste heat from the engines to preheat the manure to 100 degrees because we got to simulate the cow's stomach, and the cow's stomach's at 100 degrees. So in order for the microbes to work properly in the digesters, we have to get it to 100 degrees, and it's a recycled product that we're using again.
Whoa, slow down, you guys. The sustainability tracker didn't expect all these R's to come pouring in this early. We needed a second to digest all these conversions at this point.
Okay, it all begins with a cow eating a feed mixture that contains recycled food products. They convert the stored protein in the feed into other things. First off, we all know that cows convert plant material into milk. Consider those thermodynamics of converting solar power or plant photosynthesis into milk proteins. That's converting both matter and energy. Then there's converting both the nutrient in the feed and the milk into another living organism, a newborn calf. Plus, they heat the floor of the calf barn with heat recycled and reused from the engine. That recycled heat is also used to reheat the liquid manure stream that goes to the digesters. But what powers those engines? Oh, I think I see what's happening.
Have you got it figured out? Better stay with us as we decode the rest of the sustainability process with Jacob and Caroline at Green Valley Dairy.
Want to learn more about the concept of thermodynamics? Then log on to intotheoutdoors.org.
How much energy can this place convert from cow manure? Find out.
Don't go away. There's more Into the Outdoors.
And now back into the outdoors.
I think we're beginning to understand what Einstein meant with his law of thermodynamics. But what do you suppose happens with all that heated manure? Let's find out with our science investigators.
Now we have 100-degree feedstock. The cows didn't use all the nutrients yet. We're going to take a little more out of it. So we're going to 3 giant cow stomachs. And what do you think's going on there?
What's in it? There's manure.
Microbes.
Digester. Oh, I get it. It digests stuff. But what do you think it makes?
Oh, methane!
Let's go see what they do with it. Unlike inside the cow's stomach, this biochemical reaction of the microbes breaking down nutrients happens in a closed and controlled system. So when the microbes produce methane as part of the process, the energy is captured and can be reused. We'll get to that in a minute.
Hey, we're not done recycling in here yet. We take the effluent out of the digesters through those screw presses, and we take the digested fibers to bed our cows with. Let me show you.
They call the stuff coming from the screw presses biosolids or biofibers. Whatever they call it, these solids represent another big R in the sustainability of their operation.
So these are the biofibers that we're using to bed our cows. But before we introduce it to the cows, we give it one more sterilizing process through this composter. And this composter is accepting the biofibers from the digesters at 100 degrees and introducing oxygen. And it's in here for 16 hours and turns, and there's an oxidation process going on, and it heats it to 150 degrees. further sterilizing it before we introduce it for cows for the bedding. And it's coming right out here.
Awesome.
So let's go see.
Okay, time out for the sustainability tracker tally. Just look at this thing. There's so much recycling and reusing, it's hard to keep track. But Einstein would really appreciate that composter. Think about it. It's taking moist material containing microbes, then introducing oxygen. That's causing an aerobic reaction that's generating its own heat to both sterilize and help dry the solids. All that with no energy input. I know what you're thinking. What about the electricity?
All right, so the recycling process continues. We have the manure, which was manure. Now we use these digested fibers. This was manure. Now this is what our cows are laying on. This is what we're being bedded on. Doesn't really smell like manure, does it?
No.
I wouldn't be grabbing it if it was. So now we've got this great meal at 100 degrees that the cows didn't use completely. And we're taking that feedstock and we're introducing it into these 3 tanks where they're just like cow stomachs, right? And then what's going on? There's still a lot of volatile fatty acids in that nutrients that we're feeding these digesters every day. And the microbes are eating the volatile fatty acids, and what are they producing?
Methane!
All right, let's go see what we do with it. Okay, scientists, so we have the digesters producing methane, right?
Yeah.
And we call it the methane biogas. So this is a biogas filter, and we're cleaning up the gas and we're using it as fuel to fuel this big engine. This is an 800 horsepower engine, and it's running a 600 kW generator. And we have 2 of these, and that's enough power to power 1,200 homes all the time, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. In addition, we're capturing the exhaust heat from the exhaust heat recovery system, and we're using that to heat the manure as the food stock for the digesters. So it's a closed loop system.
That's so
It's
cool.
sustaining.
All this sustainability really gives you something to think about, such as how could you make a living machine that helps sustain conversions of energy and matter? Well, fish tanks or terrariums are simple examples. But see if you can take those concepts a bit further. Then there's the concept of creating compost from waste. That's a pretty easy one. But how might it become economically sustainable? Ever considered a worm farm? And finally, we may not be able to create electrical energy from waste like Green Valley Dairy, but we can all pitch in to help reduce wasting energy. It's one of the 3 R's of sustainability. Oops, Jacob and Caroline are back online.
Nice job on those conversions today, ladies.
Yeah, Einstein, now it all makes sense. E equals mc squared, and energy can neither be created nor destroyed.
Right, because matter and energy can only be converted. As you've seen, it's not only Einstein's law of thermodynamics, but the basic concept of sustainability.
I think we've seen our share for today.
So take what you've learned and practice sustainability in your own life to help make our planet a better place. Hope to see you into the outdoors!
The outdoors. Grab your gear and let's explore as we discover the wild outdoors. Science, discovery, it's what we do. Into the outdoors, now what you waiting for? Into the outdoors, it's fun when we explore. Science, discovery.
The following educational partners help support your Into the Outdoors television series.